I should know better, but hearing all of the rhetoric from the religious right that we've highlighted on this week's show, and that was impossible to avoid this past week in particular, leaves me worried, saddened, and deeply offended. I've said it so many times before. Religious faith is something that is deeply personal, profoundly important, and far from two-dimensional for many, many Americans. The fact that I don't support Tony Perkins or Franklin Graham's or Rick Santorum's or Mike Huckabee's or Bobby Jindal's vision of an America based on their idea of biblical principles does not make me any less Christian or religious, and it doesn't make me less patriotic. Let me focus again on Jindal just for a moment, because I live under his supposed reign. I wish all of these people, Jindal in particular, could understand that there is a way to express an appreciation and a commitment to religion profoundly without getting in public ceremonies where they pound their chests and pray aloud to be sure everybody knows they're praying aloud. Let me take Jindal for example. You could show religion and your appreciation for Christianity far more if Bobby Jindal would take Medicaid and actually increase health provisions for the people who don't have health insurance in Louisiana. Or, rather than standing up and praying before everyone, he could go before the legislature and make an impassioned plea for money for education in institutions of higher learning whose budgets he has cut by almost a third during his administration. I go back and think of the Hebrew Scriptures again. There is a question there that we would all do well, me and Bobby Jindal and all of these others as well, to think about. One of the prophets asked the question, what does God expect of me? The answer was do justice, love mercy, walk humbly. You know, that's worth pondering. Look, I'm ready. In fact, I'm even eager to ensure that all of those gentlemen and any others are free to interpret their religion as they wish. And I believe that they, as well as people of faith and people of no faith, are equally entitled to live out their convictions as long as they don't encroach on anyone else's. That's not what we heard this past week. We heard about taking back America and about how no political candidate can solve our problems. What does that statement mean? Look, it's nothing less than a wholesale surrender of the democratic ideals that have made this a great nation for generations. It's nothing less than a betrayal of the pluralistic values that have ensured our freedoms for centuries. It is nothing less than treason. And whether such a call comes from a Democrat or a Republican, a Christian or a Muslim, a pastor or a politician, I intend to continue bringing attention to it and to sincerely opposing it for as long as it is necessary to do so. And I sincerely hope that you will join me.